Pelley speaks out. It's Nick Alberga and Zack Phillips reacting here to Keith Pelley's press conference from Friday, where he addressed the media. Had troubles with the water bottle. We'll give him a pass. What were your thoughts on everything, Zach?
The 45-second water bottle undoing was pretty funny, but look, in these press conferences, majority of the time, there's not much that you're going to take away. Like they have to go up there, you're going to have to address what's just transpired. It was Brendan Shanahan, the 11-year president of the Toronto Maple Leafs, is on his way out the door, and it needed to be addressed. There was nothing else that came out, but I thought he did a really good job, and I do think he kind of said some interesting things that I wasn't really expecting him to. There were some things that maybe he just kind of came out and grabbed the hold of right away. And the one that stood out to me was the pressure of the market, Nick, and the appreciation and respect for media and fans. Because those three things in particular have been under attack over the last little while. And he very clearly just took it head on. He had a quote in there and he said, pressure is a privilege. You get yourself into a situation, whether it's because of how good you are or because of how passionate your fan base is, that's a privilege. That's what you have here in Toronto. And he kind of just addressed the fans and how important it is to them to win and echoed that it's that important to MLSE and himself in particular to win as well. And I thought that at the end of the day, if you're a Leafs fan who tuned into that, you probably had like a sigh of relief or
hmm
just felt like there was a breath of fresh air coming out of it.
I'm always careful when these big rigs talk. Like, what are they going to say? But I'm with you. I like that quote quite a bit. Pressure is a privilege, and it's a privilege to be that nervous. I love that. And
Mhm.
I thought he spoke with conviction. I thought he was confident. For a rich dude, very relatable too. Like in the way he talked things down and broke it down. He was with his kid at Game 7 and talked about the intricacies of Game 5 and Game 7. And I can appreciate that from a fan standpoint. A lot of times these suits they'll talk and it's like they're bullshitting everybody, but I think he actually took a lot of shit today, and I think he knew he had to get up there and take a lot of shit, and he took ownership. Accountability is a great thing in this day and age, man.
He didn't just well, one of the other things too is like he didn't just take shit, which I think in it to an extent he deserved to, right?
Yeah,
He's only been here for a year. That's why I say to an extent. But
yeah.
he is the president CEO. He went up there and faced the music and he got asked tough questions and he answered them the best that he could. But I think the other thing, as you kind of said, the accountability, he didn't just take shit and answer questions. There were times where he basically was like, yeah, this wasn't good enough. And nobody had asked. And he just brought it up.
Yeah.
I thought one of the things that was interesting was a question that was brought up, but then the answer that he kind of broke it down into and kind of how he brought it out further was what is he going to do is from your boy Luke Fox there about kind of mending that relationship or making it better as it went forward. And he talked about some of the initiatives they have underway and getting new fans into the building, which has been something that is being talked about. You can't get people in there. It's too expensive. Okay, well, we're going to give free tickets. Bang, there you go. There's one. And then the other thing was making players more relatable and more accessible to fans and to media because it makes them more personable. It makes it more accessible, excuse me, for the media. And it's just easier for the fans to feel like they can connect to those kinds of people. And he basically just brought that up on his own. Like that wasn't
Yeah.
asked. He was talking about the fans and the communication lines that they have. And he basically was like, yeah, our players need to be more accessible. And we're going to change that.
It was interesting. Like a lot of when he was talking, I'm like, it really sounds like he's just a fan of the team, which I sort of
Yeah.
like. And I know he answered and fielded some questions about TFC and the Raptors as well. And I think some jobs could be on the line with those two respective organizations too. But the relatability was like the big thing for me. There was the vote of confidence as well for Brad Tree and Craig Berube. By the way, Tree was not in attendance back home in Calgary, as Pelley brought up in the press conference. But that's good to see. Like I like somebody that comes in. We see this oftentimes in any course of life where there's like an assessment period. There's been a year of assessment. I mean, for better or for worse, it took too long, I think, to make the Shanahan decision. Not really Pelly's fault, but he makes that decision. And the vote of confidence, I think, is understandable. Like the thing that got me is you hear Pelly talk, and it seems like he was very into what they were selling this year with the roster and the team on the ice.
Yeah, I mean, he did make it pretty clear like he's not going to be
I
hands-on
like
in
that.
terms of
Yeah.
making trades and everything, which I appreciate as well because, you look at the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones, he's the guy who's the owner of the team and he's also out here slinging deals and there is that piece of it where it can get caught up in selling jerseys versus making the team good and you see those happen in other leagues, organizations, whatever. He was like, "Yeah, I trust these people. Like I'm here to help them. I will work closely with them. I will support them." But like he gave them a vote of confidence. He made it very clear he liked the direction that they went in. He did subtly, he didn't outright say like this is the way to go with building a hockey team, but he did kind of
Close
subtly say
enough.
like I liked the construction of this group. I like the direction they're at it, and it's like, okay, yeah, I appreciate that kind of stuff. But it
Yeah.
was kind of nice because in a lot of ways, as you said there, he did feel like he was a fan. It felt like he was under someone that one of the other things I'll throw back at you as well.
Yeah.
It felt like he was someone who understood the market, which
Yeah.
I think is really important. Not to say Shanahan doesn't, not to say that like they just he didn't get it or other people didn't get it. I thought Shanahan did some amazing things, but he came in and basically was just very open about everything that's gone on and he did get it. Like he gets what's happening. He got how the fans felt. He felt it too. He was embarrassed. He's sitting there
Yeah.
saying that. And then to your point about the construction of the team, he basically said like I felt good about this and I felt good about the direction, which is the same thing that the fans have been echoing here, saying here over the last little while. So I mean, it did obviously make me feel much better about knowing the direction that he is going to try to guide this ship in. But who knows? Because you have
Yeah.
to see it in action, and it was him just talking about it. But yeah, I thought it was good.
We're looking for cohesion for sure. I think there's been some
Ethos.
disfunct. Yeah, exactly. Like there's been some disfunct in the organization in recent memory, and I like the cohesion. Everybody is one right now, and the biggest takeaway for me is that I think he comprehends and understands winning is everything. It's not about selling jerseys for fans. Like the relatable part to being a fan of the Maple Leafs, all we care about is winning a Stanley Cup. And I thought he knocked it out of the park. For as good as you can do in a press conference to summarize another disappointing exit to the Stanley Cup playoffs, I thought it came off really, really positive and good vibes from me, Zach.
Yeah, he said a few times, and I watched back his press conference when he was introduced as the new president CEO last year, and he
Yeah.
said, "We're not here to sell jerseys, we're here to win." I think that the path that they went in this year was the right direction. I kind of said all that stuff again, but then he brought up, good is not good enough. We're here to win.
I
And
like it.
he acknowledged, not only do we want to win, but we know the most important things to the fans, or the thing to the fans is winning. Bang. Like that's it. Everybody in this market wanted to know that that's what you care about and change and changing culture and changing the identity and the structure and all of that. He acknowledged like things need to change. You cannot run this same thing back, which how many times over the last 8 years, I guess we'll go to since Matthews, Nylander, Marner were here, even before Tavares, did they go in and say, we think we've got the right things here? Change was never a word that was used, and it was one he used frequently. And winning and the importance of winning were brought up a lot by Keith Pelley in his press conference today.
Zach, looking forward to a year from now at this time where we break down the third time the public
Thoughts?
conversation to be had. Yes, we'll hear from Keith Pelley in a year from now. So appreciate your time today.
Yeah, thanks. A year from now, plus a month.
Yes, yes, that's it, because they're going to win the Stanley Cup. Take care, everybody. Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Roseau. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.